But let's start by grounding and finding ourselves. So you can either, depending on where you're practicing, you can use the edge of a chair, you can use your couch. I personally like legs up the wall, as the pose is called. Try to have something underneath your hips. So just try to create some warmth and comfort. I like to just put the blanket underneath so that my hips and my glutes are not on the cold floor. And then just scoot your hips against the wall and then just send your legs up the wall. Let's start this. And just shuffle the hips a little bit. Find a position that's comfortable. Your legs can be a little apart, feet apart, a little closer in. You're going to see what's comfortable for you. As for your arms, your hands are open, facing the sky, and just laying beside your body, a little distance from your torso. If that's not comfortable, you can always put them into goalpost arms, cactus arms, bend them at 90 degrees. You can also rest your hands on your chest, one on your heart and one on your stomach. So a few different options to place your hands. Just find yourself settling in, arriving, having nothing else to do except just be here in the moment. Taking in a deep breath. Exhaling slowly. See if you can slow down your breath. Maybe closing your eyes. This pose should not be uncomfortable, should be very restful. This pose is wonderful to come into when you're having a tough time sleeping at night, falling asleep, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and wrestling with some insomnia. Just scoot your head around the other way and stick your legs up your headboard or wall or whatever's possible. This is a great pose to relax any anxiety you might be feeling, frustration. Like in any pose in yoga, when we are laying in stillness, the mind will wander. That is the gift and the curse of our mind. It has to be busy, thinking, planning, doing, reflecting, regretting, predicting, so on and so forth, right? And even more so when our bodies are still. So rather than getting frustrated or angry or upset with yourself, why can't I quiet my mind? Acknowledge it. Acknowledge the thought that flows in. And just like your breath, allow that thought to flow out. Don't give it too much attention or attach too much energy to it. Anchoring to your breath is a really good strategy and a helpful one because the mind likes to be busy. Give it the job to focus on your inhale and follow your exhale. Notice your belly rising and filling up like a beautiful balloon on your inhale, and then feeling the belly fall on your exhale. Belly rises on the inhale, falls on the exhale. Can you slow down the inhale? Lengthen out your inhale. Maybe adding a little pause at the top of your inhale. Nothing strenuous. Just a brief pause. And then exhaling slowly and lengthening out your exhale. Following your breath, feeling the belly rise and fall. If you'd like to set an intention for your class, your sankalpa, an I am statement, the most powerful statement, powerful 2 words, I am, and then anything else you add on to that and attach on to that even adds more power, intention to your being. It could be as simple as, I'm grateful to be alive today. And that's not really simple. Not everyone can say that. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm physically able to move my body. Whatever your I am statement is, repeat it 3 times. I'm willing to release all frustrations today. Repeat your I am statement 3 times. Take in a deep inhale and exhale it out. Going to slowly invite some movement into our body. Starting with our legs. Let's turn the toes in. Our legs will naturally open up. External rotation of our hip joints, our pelvis. So internally rotate them and just line them up nice and straight. Point the toes. Feeling a nice stretch at the top of the foot. Now flex them. Bringing the toes to reach your nose. Point your toes to the sky. Reach the toes down to the ground. Point the toes again. And reach the toes down to the ground. Now just do a little bit of ankle rotations in one direction. And then switching them in the other. And one can go one way, one can go the other. Just allowing some natural movement with the ankles, which I say natural, but really is very unnatural because we typically don't move our ankles other than, up and down when we walk, right? You can move the legs away from the wall and just shake them out. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Just kicking them about like you're treading water. Open them up. Kick really hard. Bend the knees. Open the legs. Cross the legs. Any and all types of directions. And then place them back against the wall. And just feel that energy. Feel that stillness. Feel that energy, that beautiful energy just moving through your legs. Probably moving down like a little rush. If it's comfortable and you're able, open up the legs any amount against the wall. Not too far. You don't want the stretch here on the inner groin to be pulling. A little bit of discomfort, but not pain, okay? Flex the feet. And if it is too deep, bring them up, okay? It's a little bit of work because you kind of have to hold your legs here, okay? Point the toes, flex, point, flex, nice. Now bringing the feet into prayer feet against the wall and bending the knees any amount. Baddha Konasana, so bound angle like we do seated, except against the wall. You can gently place your hands on your knees and just push the knees out a little further towards the wall. Now bring the knees, help them in towards your chest. Hug your knees into your chest. If it feels comfortable on the neck, bring your knees towards your nose, lift your neck any amount. Here again, careful that you don't strain your neck. Chin is slightly tucked. Taking a deep inhale. And as you exhale, roll over to one side, whichever side, and take a moment here. You may have to scoot a little bit up. Just take a moment here. Not going to push ourselves up, but if you need to come back to your mat, we'll find ourselves still on our back. This time on your mat. If you can have your strap close by, we're going to move into some hip openers. I like to place something under my head here. All right. And when you're ready, hug the knees into your chest and just rock side to side. It's just inviting a little massage on our lumbar, lower spine, the lumbar portion of our back, the spine. And bring the knees up to tabletop. You can place your hands down just a little bit open and bring them down to one side, inviting in a gentle spine twist here. Just notice how it feels in your body. We typically finish with this pose, but I want to invite you to explore how it feels in your body at the beginning of our practice. You can extend the arm out, and if it feels comfortable, you can turn your gaze over to your extended arm. Otherwise, you can keep your gaze straight up to the sky. You can place your hand placed on the elbow, not your elbow, but on your knee, and just gently bring the knee down, adding just a little bit of a added tension. You might feel a nice opening in the side body here. On your inhale, bring your knees through center and crossing over to the other side. Placing your hand on top of the leg there, extending the opposite arm out. Breathing here. I invite you throughout this practice for the next 45 minutes or so, just keep your eyes closed throughout some of these poses. Turn inwards. Feel the pose as opposed to looking at the pose and looking at where your arm is, or looking where your legs are, or looking at me on the screen. Once you see me in the pose, move into the pose, check your alignment, and then close your eyes and feel the sensations. Feel your breath. Inhale your legs back to center. Clasp your arms around your shins and just hug them in, squeezing, rolling up into a tight little ball. Wonderful. Send the legs straight up. Open them out any amount. Bend the knees. Bring them back down. Feeling a nice deep stretch in the hips here. Open up any amount. Not holding back any amount. If you'd like to take it to the next level, you can send the legs up. You can keep your hands on the back of your thighs. Otherwise, if it's available to you, you can clasp around your ankles. I'm fixated on the elbows today for some reason. If you can reach the outside edges of your feet, you can clasp your hands around the outside edges and coming into happy baby. Don't forget that smile on your face, because after all, it's happy baby. So you can also keep the legs bent. Whatever feels right in your body. You can rock your baby from side to side. Little movements, a large movement. Holding here in stillness. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale. Bring the feet down. Place them on the mat. And just move the hips from side to side. Placing your hands on the bony landmarks of our pelvis. And taking a deep inhale. Exhale, bring the knees down any amount to one side. You can place a hand on the outside knee, just adding a gentle weight. Taking a deep inhale, bringing through center, exhaling to the other side. Breathing here. And just feeling a nice opening here, hopefully not anything painful or pinching. And if it is, rather than holding, then just move through, flow through it instead of holding the pose. Inhaling and exhaling. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, come back through center. Grabbing your belt or tie or shirt, whatever it is you have, wrap it around the balls of your feet and send your legs straight up to the sky. Holding your strap, Now, can you push through the heels and send the toes down towards your nose? You can keep a slight bend in your knees, that's fine. Being mindful of the hamstrings, but try to work your way through straightening the legs. You're going to feel naturally a stretch here, but as long as it's not a painful stretch, I mean, there will be a little bit of discomfort, but can you get comfortable with that little bit of discomfort there? You're actually doing your hamstrings it's a bit of a benefit just by really lengthening them and stretching them out, especially since, I don't know, I think we typically sit a lot, right? So just holding here. Removing the left leg out of the strap and slowly bringing it down. Hover it above the mat for a moment. Hover it, hover it, hover it. If you want, you can lift your chin, your head off of the mat, engaging the core. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, release both. Just gonna move over, change my angle a bit so I don't run into the wall. And with our strap, we're gonna do some lovely big circles. And really not necessarily moving quickly through this, but mindfully and with intention. So if you feel like there's a spot, for example, here for me, I'm just gonna kind of focus on that spot a little bit, but still move through it, find another spot. And then once you've gone around a couple times there, rotate in the other direction. Just working through any sticky spots. Try not to have a very firm tension around the mat, around the strap or whatever device you're using. A couple more circles. Excellent. Come back up straight, taking a deep inhale, and exhale, opening out your leg any amount. I'm running into a wall here. I'm just holding here. Can you loosen up the tension in your hand holding the strap so that the leg is active as opposed to the grip? So just be mindful of the grip around your strap. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, come through center, and just cross over to the other side. You can send the ankle down lower towards the other foot. And that's just a different stretch, because I know sometimes I'll say keep the leg straight and you can't go as far, and that's just working on stretching a different part of our muscle. So if you lower the leg, naturally you can go down lower, and then that's just more working on the glutes. Whereas if you keep the leg up higher, that's working more in the hamstring and the IT band. So whatever it is that you need to work on. And holding here, taking a deep inhale. On your exhale, bring it through center, hug your knee in, bring your nose to your knee, and send it out to join the other. Take a moment here. And just notice. Just pay attention, close your eyes to both legs. Does one feel different than the other? I don't know. Just notice. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. When you're ready, bringing both knees into your chest, wrapping the strap around the balls of the feet again, sending both legs up to the ceiling again, up to the sky. So pushing through the heels, the toes reaching the nose. Breathing here. Nice. This time, removing the opposite leg, whichever one you didn't do the first time, and slowly send it down towards the ground. Before it touches, hover it, maybe lifting the neck, the head if it's comfortable. And holding here, hug the belly into the ground, and then release both. Nice. And let's do our circles on this side. Pay attention to how the hip and the circles feel on this side. And just accepting the similarities and the differences, right? Any sticky spots here, and just circle through them. Maybe make the circle smaller, changing directions, maybe staying on one little spot a little longer and working through that. When you're ready, clasping the strap in one hand, taking in a deep inhale, and opening up on this side. When you open up, try not to twist your body. Try not to lift this hip. So try to keep grounded. So if that means that you're not opening up as much, to ensure that this extended leg, this hip on this side stays grounded, then don't drop the leg as far, right? Okay. Check the grip of your hand. It's a bit of core work, a little bit of hip work. Taking a deep inhale, bringing it through center, exhaling, crossing the body. And here again. If you lower the leg closer to your other foot, you'd be working more the glute. If you bring the leg a little higher up, you won't be able to go as low, and then you'll feel it more in this part of your leg. Try both. See what your body needs. Mindful of the grip on this side, taking a deep inhale, exhale, coming back through center, bending the knee, bringing your nose to your knee, little hug, and sending it out, removing the strap, we don't need it any longer, and just placing your hands on the bony landmarks of your pelvis and just feeling the warmth, and just swaying your toes side to side, windshield wiper motion. Bring the knees in, place the feet on the mat. Just take a moment here. Sometimes that hip work and the hip openers can really also open and impact the low back. Hug the knees in, rock from side to side. And if it's available to you, we're going to rock back and forth and find ourselves in a seated position. If rocking on your spine just doesn't feel right today, that's okay. Just meet us in a seated position. Nice. Wonderful. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, find your sit bones grounding into the mat. And close your eyes, just take a moment here, take a deep inhale and an exhale. Another deep inhale. And a nice long exhale. Wonderful. Let's come into table on all fours. If you don't have, I have two mats, so my knees are well cushioned, but I'm really going to invite you, if you don't and you're on a hardwood floor, place a towel or blanket or something underneath your knees. Whether you have knee problems or not, it's just a good practice, and it's preventative of any knee issues later on. So let's move through cat and cow. So inhaling, opening up the chest, the shoulders draw back and down. So make sure we don't have an extra set of earrings. Shoulders are back, chest is open. Feeling a nice opening even in the throat. Exhale, belly hugs up towards the spine, pushing the palms into the mat, pushing the forearms away. Inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, just moving through with your breath. While you're doing that, just double check the alignment that your wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in one line. Inhaling through cow, exhaling through cat. This is a really great pose to do in the morning to really open up the spine and send the energy flowing up and down the spine. A couple more. Excellent. I'm going to invite you to walk your hands off the mat a little bit and move through cat and cow here, so a little bit on an angle, and just being very slow and mindful. Just a few on this side, maybe 2-3 rounds. Excellent. Coming through center and crossing through to the other side. Just angling yourself off the mat here. Just 2-3 rounds here. Excellent. Coming back through center, walking the hands out. Active arms, keeping the forearms off the mat, pushing back. Sit on your heels, any amount. You can have your knees open or you can have your knees together. So pushing back into Balasana, child's pose. If your toes are curled up, it's a nice stretch on the toes. You can also flatten the feet. It allows you to settle in a little deeper into the pose. Active arms, forearms are off of the mat. Active child's pose. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, coming through table, curling the toes and hovering the knees off of the mat and engaging the core, finding yourself in a bear pose here. Hug the belly in, hug the belly in. Now slowly lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back, send the hips back, and then send the sit bones straight up, keeping that nice deep bend in the knees. Keep a nice deep bend in the knees. Flow forward into a high plank. Bring the knees down. Keep the knees wide. Push back into child's pose. Okay. Inhale into table. Exhale, bring your knees up. So hovering into bear, hug the belly in, push back, push back, push back, push back, sit, and then reach up. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, flowing through high plank, bring the knees down, push back into child's pose. One more time. Inhale to table. Exhale, lift the knees, hug the belly in, hug the belly in, hug the belly in, push back, reach the sit bones back, send the sit bones up. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, flow through to high plank. Bring the knees down. Hug the elbows in towards your rib cage and bring your chest down, followed by your chin and forehead. You can rest your forehead on the tops of your hands, acting like pillows. If there's something under there, you can move that. Take a moment here, just move your hips from side to side. Bring the fingers into goalposts. Goalpost arms, cactus arms. My scrunchie doesn't want to stay in my hair today. Bringing your hands into goalpost arms, so 90 degrees. Fingers are tented. Taking a deep inhale as you gently push yourself up. Inhaling, opening up the chest, sending the heart center through. Maybe gazing up. Exhale, bringing the chest down. Bring the arms just a little bit closer. towards your body. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And last time. Inhale. Holding up here for a moment, maybe placing the hands down, sort of a wide-armed cobra. If it's comfortable, look over your right shoulder. Maybe bend your right leg. Send it down. Look over your left shoulder. Bend your left leg. And send it down. And come back down. Nice. Plant your hands under your shoulders. Hug the elbows in towards your rib cage. Inhale, opening up through table and pushing yourself into downward dog. So check the position of your hands. Your pointer finger should be pointing straight and your middle finger should be pointing towards the corners of your mat. While I'm doing that and checking out the position of my hands, I'm also pedaling out my feet, walking the dog. Okay? And you can sway the hips from side to side and really move your dog. Okay? Taking a deep inhale and slowly, slowly, slowly hugging your belly in, walk your hands to the back of the mat. Shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. And you're finding yourself in a forward fold. Finding yourself in a forward fold. Clasp opposite elbows with your hands. Nice deep bend in your knees. Your gaze is through your knees, through your legs. Maybe swaying from side to side. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, so slide your hands up your shins. Exhale, folding forward. Bend your knees, sweep the arms straight up. Inhale. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Maybe your gaze follows. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, step and walk your hands out and find yourself in a high plank. You can also bring your knees down to a low plank. Breathing here, either finding yourself in high plank or in low plank. You can also find yourself on forearms as well. A lot of different options available to you. Breathing here, inhale, exhale. This is what we have. We have our breath through times that are challenging, and whether physically, mentally, emotionally, we have our breath to lean on. When you're ready, bring the knees down if you're in high plank, followed by your chest and then your chin. Coming through a back bend, I'm going to invite you to bring your elbows in at 90 degrees and finding yourself in Sphinx. Inhale, chest is open, shoulders are pulling back, heart is open, I'm blurry, hello. Breathing here, gaze is straight ahead. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, bringing your chest back down, plant the hands underneath your shoulders, elbows hugging in, so try not to let them splay open. So elbows hugging in towards your rib cage, pushing through table or up into plank, whichever one, knees on the ground or legs up, and into your downward dog. If you need to pedal at your feet, wonderful, do so. Taking a deep inhale, exhale. Bring your left foot into the middle of the mat. Send your right leg up into the sky any amount, bending the knee and just opening up that hip. You reach the heel to touch it won't touch your glutes, but imagine that it is. Bring the leg back down to center, any amount. Come down to your knees and bring your right leg forward through. Now, if you have blocks, wonderful. You may want to use them. You can bring them up close to here. So finding yourself in Anjaneyasana, a low lunge. Okay. Check that your legs, your feet are on two tracks, like train tracks. Okay. So make sure that your one leg is not in front of the other knee because that's going to challenge your balance. So when our legs are nice and on two different tracks, then it's a little easier to come on up. Inhale here. Gaze looks up to the sky, giving thanks. Bring the hands to heart center and fold forward any amount. Fold forward any amount. And then open up the arms, feeling your strength. Wonderful. Plant the hands down. Grab your blocks if they're available to you, or you can just tent your fingers. Straighten out the front leg. I'm going to use my blocks. And just lean back. So feeling a nice stretch, nice opening in the back leg. I'm not sitting down on the heel because I know that that's possible. We want to do a little bit of work. If we sit down, we kind of take the work and all the fun out of it. Okay. I do like blocks because it allows, you know me by now, it allows for more opening. So wonderful supports. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, move the blocks out of the way. Step back to plank, whether it's high plank or low plank. Holding here. Taking in a deep breath. Bring the knees down, followed by the chest and chin. Opening up the fingertips in front of you to your back bend. Take a deep inhale, exhale, plant the hands under your shoulders, pushing into downward dog. Pedal out the feet if you'd like. Bring the right foot into the middle, send the left foot up. And opening the hip on this side. Nice opening. Bend the leg, reach the heel to imaginary that it can touch the glutes. Bring the knee back into center. And bring your knee down and just come through to Anjaneyasana, low lunge on this side. Checking that your alignment, you're on two tracks. Imagine two train tracks here. And bringing your arms straight up, giving thanks and praise. So straight up. Belly is hugging in. Maybe a slight pelvic tilt so that pelvis is just tilting forward. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale your hands to heart center and lean forward. Moment of reverence. Opening up the heart, tapping into strength. Little back bend. Feeling a nice stretch in the front of the thigh, the front groin, hip flexor. Breathing here. Don't let the belly soften. Keep it nicely engaged. Nice. Coming back down to center, grabbing your blocks, scooting that leg forward any amount, and coming into that front forward hamstring stretch right here. Try not to round the back, but trying to keep a nice straight spine. Wonderful. Moving the blocks out of the side, onto the side, coming back into high plank, low plank. Holding here, belly's engaged. Breathing, pushing the mat away. If you, in your practice, you're practicing chaturanga, if that is something that you'd like to do, Then you would just come forward, slowly bend at the elbows, push up into upward dog. Otherwise, if you're in high plank, bring the knees down, followed by the chest and chin, opening up into up dog. So up dog, you would keep your thighs on the ground. Okay, sort of a lazy up dog, which is still wonderful. Shoulders are rolling back. Make sure they're not by your ears, so down your back. Active up dog, you would lift your thighs off the mat. Taking a deep inhale, curl over the toes, come into your downward dog. We're going to come through that lunge sequence one more time, and you have the option to keep the knee on the floor. If you would like to take it up to the next level, you will raise the knee off the floor. So inhale the right leg up. Exhale any amount that you can, bring the leg up. Here again, check that your legs, your feet are on two different tracks. Okay? Our balance is always challenged if we're lined up and, we won't get up as easily. So check that they're on two different train tracks, and then imaginary hugging the inner thighs in towards each other, and then bringing the arms up and meeting in high lunge. So just sending your gaze up, giving thanks for the many blessings you have. If at any time you want to bring down the knee, please do. Please do. Bringing your hands to heart center and folding forward. Chin is slightly tucked. A moment of reverence. Taking a deep inhale, opening up the chest into a back bend, finding your strength. Belly is tucked, breathing here. If you come out of this, that's okay. Laugh it off and come back in, or come down on your knees, just like that. When you're ready, coming in this pose, if you're doing the high lunge, you're going to step the foot in a little bit and just straighten out the front leg here and come into a forward fold here, and just feeling a nice deep stretch in the front leg. If you're down on the ground, coming back into this one. Breathing here. Wonderful. From whichever pose you're in, find yourself in your plank, whichever plank you would like to be in. Holding here for a breath or two. Moving through your chaturanga, however way that looks. You can bring your knees down, followed by your chest and chin. A little push up through into up dog. You can keep your thighs down or lift your thighs. And then curling over the toes into downward dog. Send the left leg up, the opposite leg, whichever leg you didn't do, and send it forward. Check your stance. When you feel comfortable and balanced, coming up into high lunge. Maybe your gaze looks up, giving thanks. Breathing. And just noticing your balance might be different. And if you're down on your knee, lovely. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale your hands to heart center and folding over. Breathing here. Taking a deep inhale, opening up the chest and the arms into a back bend. Tapping into that inner strength we all have. sometimes forget and need to be constantly reminded how strong we really are inside. Even during those moments of trials and challenges and weaknesses, it's okay. Let's breathe through it. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, come down to the ground. Mat, bring your foot in a little bit. And just fold over that front leg. If you're down on the ground, wonderful. Straighten out the leg. Both poses, focus on stretching out the posterior chain of that leg, the back part of the leg. Breathing there, breathing wherever you are. Nice. Bend the leg, find yourself in your plank. Taking a deep inhale. Bring the knees down, followed by the chest and chin opening up into your back bend. Meeting in downward dog. You can either be in downward dog, or I also invite child's pose. Bending at the elbows, clasping your hands into prayer. Take a moment wherever you are, downward dog or child's pose. And if we can all meet in downward dog, flowing forward to high plank. You can also do low plank. Actually, let's all start in low plank. Check that your wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in one line. And come over onto the left side. Bring the right knee into the middle. Scoot out the left leg. Find yourself in a nice side plank here. And maybe lift up the arm. If it's in your practice and it's available to you, maybe you can balance both feet out, or you can balance one on the other. Breathing here. If it's hard on your wrists, I'll also invite you to come down onto the elbows. Lots of different options, and this is your practice. So your practice means that you find what is right for your body today. So moving through high plank, low plank, wherever you are, and transitioning through to the other side. I'm just going to switch directions. So check the alignment that you're all one nice long line here. Even if you're on your forearm, you want to make sure the elbow and the shoulder are lined up. Okay? Bring the knee into the middle and scoot that leg out. Just one nice long line. Here again. You can stagger both feet. So lifting this side, try not to let it drop. Lift, lift, lift. Breathing here. Breathe through any discomfort. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, meeting in plank. Pushing into Balasana, child's pose. Shake out the wrists. Be very tough on the wrists. Taking a deep inhale, come through table into downward dog. Walk the hands to the back of your feet. Find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, release. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale your hands to heart center. Excellent. Just find ourselves. I just find this time of the year, everything is so beautiful and in bloom. I just feel like we need to do tree pose. So, if tree is new to you, be close to a wall, a ledge, a couch, a chair. No shame in that at all. No shame in that at all. So don't feel that you can't use a support. That's what supports are for, or to help us, right? So, grounding through, I'm going to start with my left leg. Grounding through the left leg, so it's nice and straight. Most of my weight is in the left leg. I'm imagining the roots of this leg reaching through these floorboards into the ground. Opening up, externally rotating this hip. Now your hands, different options, can be on your waist, can be at your heart center. And very lightweight, I'm placing my big toe on the mat. And I'm working with my balance. The monkey mind impacts our balance. Monkey mind being jumping from thought to thought. If you're balanced, you want to raise your leg up. And here again, you could be holding onto the wall. You want to raise your leg up to your shin. If you want to raise it all the way up, wonderful. Maybe you raise your arms up. Mine are getting cut off here. Breathing. This pose helps if you fix your gaze not on me, but on a spot about 6 to 8 feet in front of you on the ground that's not moving. So don't attach it to a puppy or a kitty or a child. Fix your gaze. Breathe. If you come out of it, that's okay. Start again, right? Be patient with yourself in your practice. We don't ask trees or the gardens to bloom faster than they can, so we must treat ourselves and our body the same kindness and patience. When you're ready, send the leg out and bring it back in. And just shake that out. And finding the other side. So grounding through the opposite leg, externally rotating that hip, just resting the toe there and starting there. Fix your drishti, your gaze. Sometimes it's, I find for myself, sometimes being on a mat, and it's not always the case, but the mat is too soft and I can't seem to get grounded through it. And so sometimes being on the hard floor or the carpet, wherever, helps a little bit more. So, and again, that changes from day to day. My tree looks different every day. Because it's all based on my mind and where my mind is at. Breathe. Are you breathing? My tree looks different on one side than the other. And that's okay. Ooh, the tree does blow. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, send the leg out and shake that out. Wonderful. Find yourself on the mat. Find yourself just facing the edge of your mat and just rolling back into boats. So just coming just sort of to the top, the low part of your sacrum, the top of part of your butt crack, and sending the arms out. Belly is hugging in towards your spine. Chin is slightly tucked. Shoulders are back. Shoulders, chest is open. Maybe you raise the legs, and here you can hold them. A little bit of balance, a little bit of core and strength. Breathing through this. Maybe you release the arms, and maybe you don't. Maybe you straighten the legs and release the arms, and maybe not today. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, place the legs down, straighten them out, hug the belly in, and slowly, 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 slowly roll back. Slowly, slowly, slow it down. Slow it down. Nice. And let's finish our practice before Shavasana with a spinal twist on this side. So inhale your knees to your heart center. Let's give a little rock side to side. Send them back into table just like we did at the beginning of our practice, and slowly bring them down. Send your arm out. Maybe the gaze follows towards the fingertips, and just notice. Is there any difference with this twist at the end of your practice compared to the one at the beginning of our practice? Just noticing. Maybe there's a difference and maybe there isn't, and that's okay. Accepting what is, right? Your eyes are gently closed. Taking a deep inhale, keeping your eyes closed, and moving the legs through to the other side, twisting there. Breath is slowing down. Checking in with your sankalpa, your intention that maybe you said at the beginning of the practice, your I am statement. Repeating it at the end of your practice here 3 times. When you're ready, inhaling in through center, extending your legs out and finding your Shavasana, your last final pose or rest pose. Extending the legs out. If you have an eye pillow or a sleeve, maybe covering it over your eyes. There's a lot of light in your room. Palms are facing up, arms are open wide, legs are open wide. If you'd like to place pillow or bolster under your knees, it's lovely support for your low back. And just finding stillness here. Allowing the effects of your practice to integrate into your body, your mind, your soul. If you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, I invite you to explore that and stay in Shavasana. Otherwise, we'll just close out our practice. You can extend your arms overhead. Just reach your fingers and your toes out, opposite directions. Slowly find yourself in a fetal position on one side. Just taking a moment here. Placing your hand in front of your chest and slowly pushing yourself up into a seated position. Your eyes are closed. Your hands are at your heart center or resting in your lap, the palms facing up. And take a moment here to thank yourself for practicing, whether this evening or whenever you are practicing this class. For coming to the mat. We are all coming to the mat for different reasons. Just closing out with one of my favorite quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. So take that off the mat into the rest of your weekend, practicing patience and moving at the pace of nature as everything unfolds in the right time. The teacher in me honors the teacher in each one of you. Thank you for practicing with me. I'm honored and delighted. Namaste.